Real talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Kiana Skills podcast is dedicated to real conversations about issues, emotions, and experiences that affects the lives of everyday people.
I know that's right.
Welcome to the I Am Kiana Skills podcast. Welcome to the I Am Kiana Skills podcast, episode 22, sponsored by the Closet Experience Boutique and Delightful Cakes and Catering. I'm your host, Kiana Skills, and I have the influential Aquanette Cooper with me today co-hosting.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening. Today we will be discussing what you see when you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. When you have a keen sense of self-love, you understand your own value and treat yourself in a loving way. Unlike narcissism, which is excessive self-absorption and self-interest, self-love is a positive trait. Loving yourself means having a good understanding of both your strengths and your weaknesses. Narcissism is generally associated with poor mental health, but high self-love has a positive effect on your well-being, mental fitness, and your relationships. Self-love is critical to our overall well-being, and despite what the perfectionists think, loving yourself doesn't mean that you don't hold yourself to a high standard. Without feeling positively towards ourselves, we may find it hard to be motivated. Self-love is important because it motivates much of our positive behavior while reducing harmful behavior. It both empowers us to take risks and to say no to things that do not work for us. It's a key component of building self-compassion. Hello, Aquanette. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you, Kiana?
I'm doing good.
Good.
You ready to see if we can inspire and motivate others to jump on the self-love movement and stay there?
You know it. Let's do it.
Great. Let's do it. Positive affirmations are made up of phrases that you can say aloud to yourself or in your head. You can also write them down and make sure they are always visible. Positive affirmations are meant to help build you up and improve your confidence, even when things are difficult. The purpose of positive affirmation is to help you overcome negative thoughts that make you doubt yourself. Daily positive affirmations are meant to minimize negativity and help you see yourself in a positive light. Practicing positive affirmations does not have to mean repeating one phrase repeatedly every day. It's about affirming yourself and replacing negative thoughts with positive self-talk. When you pass by a mirror, you can stop and admire your reflection and tell yourself that you are beautiful.
Yes.
In 2001, India Arie was trying to put us up on game, y'all, when she released her song titled Video. Aquanette, you remember that song?
I do remember that song.
India told us that she was not the average girl from your video and that she was not built like a supermodel.
But I learned to love myself.
Yeah, but I want to stop right there. You see what she said? Mm-hmm. She's not built like a supermodel. Y'all stay with me. I just want to make sure that y'all still listening.
Yes.
She said she's not built like a supermodel, but she has learned to love herself unconditionally because she is a queen.
Yes.
Y'all better hear me out there.
Royalty.
And you better hear what India said.
Mm-hmm.
And that her worth is not determined by the price of her clothes. And that no matter what she is wearing, she will always be India Arie.
Yes. Oh, I got chills. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
As she continues to sing, we learn that she comes from some good stock because her mother taught her that what a lady wears doesn't define her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what she wears, but what she knows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm preaching up in here through India. I'm just, India, let me use you as a vessel, girl, tonight.
That's right.
Yes. Her mother also instilled in her wisdom to know what holds value and what does not hold value. India told the people they can keep their expensive cars and their Cristal champagne and their pistols, that she'd rather have a pretty piece of crystal, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to pass the wisdom down to us so that we could continue to share this type of uplifting and positivity within our culture, because she knew that during that time, most of the culture was fixated, portraying the negative stereotypes and being materialistic.
Mm-hmm.
Even as we sit here today, that trend is still part of our culture as we place value on material things. Somewhere we lost sight as a culture on core values, and some of us, not all of us, followed the self-love movement. It all became an illusion of confusion, a conception and a vast deception that stopped the culture from embracing this movement wholeheartedly.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, they better hear me today because I'm going in today.
Sing, India. I hear you.
Aquanette, do you feel like the self-love India.Arie was talking about in 2001 will resurface in our current culture?
I think it will, as long as we are aware that it's missing. And as long as we're aware that it's missing, then it, hopefully we'll be able to bring it back. So a lot of people don't know what they're not aware of. So it's going to take you and I to bring it to the masses.
Well, we trying here on the I Am Counter Skills podcast.
Yes, we are.
Y'all better tell your people to tap in, tap in. It's a new wave, a new era.
A new era. I like that. Yes, it is.
It's time for some changes in our culture. Mm-hmm. It is no secret that many of Hollywood's brightest stars have gone through great measures to maintain their youthful looks as they age or to change their appearance in its entirety. But many of them have proved that going too far can lead to disastrous results. I ain't gonna name no names, but we know some artists that you look and be like, that's who? Mm-hmm. Let's go back to circa 1990.
Yeah.
That ain't the same person. And I'm not gonna be disrespectful, but y'all can read between the lines. Over the years, the world has watched on as some of the most famous faces in the industry change drastically right in front of our eyes. Mm-hmm. Thanks to botched cosmetic procedures or simply overdoing their plastic surgery. Mm-hmm. Earlier, we talked about India.Arie and what core values her mother instilled in her as she vocally conveyed a message of self-love and self-worth. Now I want to dissect this from another angle as I explore Beyonce's Pretty Hurts lyrics. In this song, the mother is saying to her daughter that she is pretty, that she's a pretty girl, like a real pretty girl. If you all can recall the video, you know that Beyonce the video was around a girl in a pageant. But just follow me and hear me out where we're going with this. That, the mother in this scenario was telling her daughter that she's a pretty girl and that what she is to do is to fix her teeth and brush her hair. That what she wear is all that matters. Pretty hurts is what the daughter realizes as she discovers that perfection is a disease of a nation. That people are trying to fix things they cannot see because it is the soul that needs surgery. Mm-hmm. Ooh. I don't think y'all heard me.
I felt that one.
People are trying to fix things they cannot see because it's the soul that needs surgery. That is a word for the people.
Yes,
My. That is a word for the people. I'm just trying to help the people to help the people to help the people. All right. Society is constantly telling you that their standards are like, what they like. Blonder hair, flat chest. TV says bigger is better. South Beach says, let's be sugar free. Vogue says thinner is better. Whoo, just got me confused on which way to go. That's why you got to know yourself and know your own value and your own worth. The daughter in this song is now slowly seeing that plastic smiles and denial can only take you so far, as the fake smiles and facades are like darkness that leave you empty. And while she sits and stares in the mirrors that surround her, she has no choice but to reflect on the beauty, brainwashing that she endured at the hands of those that treated her like a puppet, as if she had no true worth, as they had her believing that beauty was all that mattered and that brains and beauty could not coexist. Let me hear y'all say, what a shame, what a shame, what a shame.
What a shame, what a shame, what a shame.
The more she stares into those mirrors, she soon discovers that she can no longer masquerade behind just being a pretty girl, and that sooner or later she must answer the question if she is happy with herself and with that true person that she sees is staring back at her. Woo child, that song is talking about some deep-rooted insecurities.
That's right, yeah.
Aquanette, I know you do some modeling from time to time. As a model, do you feel pressure to look a certain way?
When I was younger, I did. You remember, I think there was an episode on America's Next Top Model. So there was a season where there was they were working on everyone's smile, their teeth. And I believe the model's name was Danielle. And they said, you're going to have to get rid of that gap between your teeth because it's not marketable. And so I remembered that because that was something that I struggled with because I do have a gap. It's smaller now, but back when I had first started modeling in high school, I was very self-conscious about it, but I kept getting mixed responses. Some people said, well, that's what is marketable. And then other people were telling me, well, why don't you get it fixed? So yeah, there's been some times there. There's been some other things, that have happened as far as with some fashion shows, they will have, a specific salon that's in charge of everyone's hair. And sometimes that you'll all have the same type of hairstyle, but sometimes they'll want you to be they'll have individual styles for different people depending on what the designer wants. So there have been times where I have actually had a hairstyle. I was like, yeah, I don't think that style is going to work for me. That's not, or, cause they'll add hair, things like that. I'm like, that doesn't match my texture. That's not going to work. And so it kind of makes you feel like, well, I'm the problem because nobody else had the issue, So, but again, that just goes back to trying to have your own self-confidence when it comes to that. And those were actually some challenges that I did have to overcome. And, like you said before, I just had to search my own soul and realize whatever they put on me is going to be what they want. That's not how I see myself. So, yeah. And I've actually even had people that kind of laughed at the makeup that they put on me because it may have been the wrong shade, or why are they doing this eccentric look on her because I am darker skinned. And it just it would hurt my feelings. But yeah, I had to push past all of that and know, well, this is their vision, it's not my vision, and I don't look like this every day.
Right, because typically when you're modeling for somebody, like you said, it's their vision. So you have to go with the flow, unless it's just something totally that's disrespecting you or really bothering you, that you can't bring their vision to light once you hit that runway or that magazine shoot.
Right. So
have you been compared to other models, and how did that make you feel?
I actually cannot recall being compared necessarily. Yeah, I haven't experienced that. I can't think of a time right now off the top of my head. Not by the professionals. Okay. I'll say that. But I have been compared to different, I guess, artists, like musical artists. I didn't like that. I have been compared to certain actresses. I didn't like that either, because I didn't think that they were attractive. But other people were like, well, I don't understand. They're beautiful. I just didn't think so. So that hurt again also. But what is that saying? I had to do some work on myself. So, yeah, and then some people have done it to tease in the past. You know how family members can be. You have a bad hair day one day, and then it's you get messed with for years about it. So
what, you had a Jerry curl girl?
I did not have a Jerry curl, but my hair was in plaits one day. And yeah, all of the Sealy jokes came out the woodwork.
Oh, well, come on, color purple now.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Would you alter your appearance if an agency wanted to sign you with a lucrative deal? And let's say they was like, we need you to go get a tummy tuck, just something drastic. But this deal was like, I'm talking about big bucks, millions of dollars. But they wanted you. They was like, yeah, you have everything else, but we just need you to tighten up this one little thing. But would you do it?
You know what? That's a loaded question. But I will say, when I was younger, I probably would have. But now that I'm, more aware of who I am, if it wasn't something I was already going to fix in the first place, I probably wouldn't. But I'm just learning there's value in other things besides your looks. So, yeah.
I like that. And you're simply sending the message that you can't be brought.
I can't.
You're not going to do that to me. Mm-mm. Like, yes, you either take me how I am or put me in a different role.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's always options. That's something that I want everyone to know. Like, even though someone will present things to you as if this is the only way, don't believe it. There's always other options. Always.
Y'all can't see me, but I'm raising my hand. I don't do any modeling, but look, I'm raising my hand. Whatever you want to change on me, I'm ready. I'm ready for that lucrative deal, honey. Sign me up and teach me how to walk, baby. No, y'all, I'm just kidding. Ooh, let me get back on topic. Your body image is how you perceive yourself. And it's how you think about yourself, how you feel about your body. This can include your body size, shape, weight, or individual body parts. People can experience a positive or negative body image and can be influenced by both the internal and external factors in our lives. Body image may not be directly related to our actual appearance. For example, a person may think and feel that their body is much larger or smaller than it is. You know how we do. We're very critical of our own self. I don't know why, but we are. People can say they're not, but we do. I look in the mirror sometimes and I'm like, ooh, this little buzz right here, but everybody else see me like, girl, you look good, girl, that little thing, that's nothing. And I'm like, girl, it's a whole 3 rows up under here. You just don't see it. But we always are so critical of ourselves. A positive body image is associated with better self-esteem, self-acceptance, and healthy lifestyle behaviors, including a balanced approach to food and physical activity. Body image issues affect people of all ages, genders, and across all cultures.
It does, yeah.
Whew, that just had me thinking how sometimes I just be so critical of myself. I gotta stop that sometimes. I mean, it's whatever. Let me say this. It's a good thing that you are critical, because sometimes when I know that I'm getting a little overweight, it helps me realize, hey, now you need to slow down on eating this. You need to cut back. So it could be a good thing because it keeps me healthy. So let's not always look at something in a negative. Right. Sometimes it's good that you are critical of yourself.
It's a self-assessment.
Yes, very good. I just wanted to make that point. Like there's no need to think that everything has to be so negative sometimes.
Or to the extreme.
Right. Now, Good Morning Gorgeous by Mary J. Blige is a soulful and empowering song that speaks to the strength and resilience of women. This powerful anthem resonates with many listeners thanks to its heartfelt lyrics and Mary J. Blige's soulful vocals. The song explores themes of self-love, self-acceptance, and overcoming adversity. With this upbeat melody and uplifting lyrics, y'all. I'm singing it in my head. Look, I'm trying to talk to y'all this episode, but I'm singing the lyrics in my head right now. Good Morning Gorgeous serves as a reminder that even in the face of challenges, one can rise above and embrace their inner strength. Mary J. Blige's passionate delivery adds depth and emotion to the song, making it relatable to anyone going through a tough time. The song encourages listeners to believe in themselves and celebrate their uniqueness, promoting a message of self-empowerment and inner beauty. Now, we all have some inner beauty, whether you think you do or not. It's in there. And if you don't know where it is, dig deep to find it. When I tell you, I felt every lyric in that song, y'all. Like I said, it's playing in my head right now, and I will start singing, but I don't know if y'all ready for my vocals. MJB said it's so hard holding on, ain't even picking up the phone. It is hard enough to be alone, and hard enough to sleep, and second guessing just does not help. Battling with self-love leaves you feeling empty. So you better dry your eyes and fight and press on, because it is no joke when you feel like you are at war with yourself and you are struggling to find inner peace. But you fight on to live another day and to speak an affirmation over yourself that speaks volumes, like these powerful words, good morning, gorgeous. Those simple words hold power when you can just look at yourself and just say, good morning, gorgeous.
That's right.
Despite what is going on with you. Because no one else can boost your self-confidence, you realize that looking in the mirror and facing yourself adds power and convicts those thoughts when you hated yourself and you realize that you should have been so gentle with yourself and loving towards yourself instead of wanting to be someone else because of what the world said about you and what they said that beauty is. They can talk all they want and say, oh, she's not cute, or she, I look better than her. We've all heard it.
Yeah.
Who cares what they think? It's all superficial. Yeah. Once you realize that you are no longer on a low vibrational vibe of toxicity, and you be damn if you will let superficial consume you, you can care less about hair, makeup, and any designer labels. You can only witness the power of transformation of speaking positive and powerful words over yourself like good morning gorgeous and mean it. This means you can wake up each day with a renewed sense of self-worth, removing the self-hatred that you felt deep inside because of you wanting, you want it with somebody else. Sometimes we look and we say, oh, I want the Kim Kardashian body. I want the Beyonce body. We want this because that's what's in front of us. But no, start telling people, I want the Kiana Scales body.
That's right.
I want, that means you're talking to yourself, telling you're going to say, I want the Aquanet Cooper body. Like,
that's
you want to be you. It's like everybody looks alike.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to just make sure that you are doing what you like to do.
Yep.
Not what social media says you're supposed to like what you do. Not what your family says that you're supposed to like what you're, you should have to make sure that you are doing what you like. Dress how you like. Because everything else doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't.
As long as you're comfortable with who you are. But again, that goes back to like learning who you are just in general. That self-awareness again. Yes.
And like when I say I'm so in love with Mary J. Blige because she's so transparent.
Yeah.
She'll tell you she don't care. She gain weight, lose weight, whatever she's going through. She has been publicly humiliated.
Yeah.
With her last marriage.
And she's still gonna be
and
married.
She's still gonna be married.
That's
she
right.
Don't care.
I love it. Yeah. I
she
love
like,
it.
yeah, I'm going through all this, but I'm me. Does not mean that sometimes she wants to. We all beat up on ourselves. Like, oh, why was I so this? Why did I do this or that? But guess what? She knew that as she was going through that, because I feel like we got this song after the divorce. I may be wrong, but I feel like that's when we got this new album from her, right? That was after. Okay, I just want to make sure. So what I'm gathering from it is that she got up one day, looked herself in the mirror, and said, "Good morning, gorgeous."
Absolutely.
You've been through it all. He may have taken what he thought that he took from me.
Yeah.
But I'm still standing.
Right.
I'm still freaking MJB. I can hear her
right.
instead of that mirror with her. Look, then she get a little cocky and she putting on her.
That's right.
Her makeup,
That's
and then she
her
putting on her jewelry. And we know when she put on them fly boots, oh baby, it's on and popping. She really talking smack to everybody saying, I'm MJB.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, I just love her. Like, I'm a huge fan.
She's so transparent. And another thing that she does, she gives herself grace.
Yes.
And that's something we have to start doing more of, because again, it's up to us. It's up to us. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If we don't feel good about ourselves, then that just cuts out so many other things for us to just progress in our own confidence. So yeah.
So let's talk about giving grace. I'm glad you said that. So what does that actually look like? What are the steps of giving yourself grace?
Well, what I would actually say is first you have to forgive yourself.
Forgiveness is good.
You have, after the self-reflection, we've talked about that in other episodes. After the self-reflection, you have to forgive yourself. And then forgiving is a whole process within itself. Yes. There's stages and there's phases and there's steps to forgiving yourself. So once you've forgiven yourself, you are going to be tested. And you are going to be given, I like to call it, an opportunity to see how you handle your triggers. So it's all a process. And the more you're aware and the more we practice to not be reactive, and that's another process. The more we practice to not be reactive when we are triggered and just acknowledge, well, right now, that what they're saying or that what they're doing is really making me feel uncomfortable. Like, you have to consistently ask yourself questions. And that is all a process of giving yourself grace. And it takes a while to even just understand the concept of it. So it takes a little bit, but we can all do it. Forgive yourself. And when the trigger comes, because it's coming, that's when you're tested to just breathe and actually ask yourself before you react. In the present tense, I am feeling, this makes me feel.
And I'm going to add something to that grace. What I would like to add to the grace is that when you talked about that test coming, give yourself grace even if you fail the test.
Oh,
let's
that's
talk
a
about
good
that.
one too.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes you're going to be tested and you're going to fail that test. You're going to be like, oh, God, here I go again. I fail. Don't beat yourself up.
Right.
Number one, be glad that you recognize that you failed the test.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're going to get another chance to get, another chance to give yourself grace again.
Yeah. And the thing is, even with you recognizing it, that's still giving yourself grace. Yeah. That's still giving yourself grace. And not only that, but we also have, what was I going to say? There's also a moment there where you can always go back.
Right.
So again, it's about having patience with our natural reactiveness. So I think that's something that, again, patience and grace kind of go hand in hand, but you have to do it with yourself first before you can do it with other people.
And let's go back to what we were talking about, Pretty Hurts, how she had to realize in those lyrics that, wow, that Pretty was hurting her. So guess what she said? She gave herself, that's an example of giving yourself grace.
It is.
Let's go back to that. Let's revisit that.
Okay.
Because I want to say she didn't play a blame game. And that song could have went a different way, and she could have been mad at what I call the puppet masters, her mama and the pageantry.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
She could have been mad at them. But what happened? That mirror, everywhere she turned, there was a mirror. So she had to start facing herself.
Right. Yeah.
So guess what? Like we talk about self-reflection. So that gave her a chance to say, wait a minute. What's going on here? And then she looked around and she realized that you're trying to fix something. The soul, she realized deep down those mirrors had her looking deep in her soul.
Yeah.
And guess what? Not only did she give herself grace, she gave them grace.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Sometimes you got to give other people grace.
Yeah, because they don't know what you're going through. They see what they see.
Yep.
And they believe that what they see is the truth. And I mean, we get to a point where we don't need to expect that from people.
Right.
But there are times where, like you said, you just have to understand, well, if I didn't even see it, I know they didn't see it either. So let me just kind of come to them with understanding. And I think that's something that we have to focus on as well.
Now, sometimes the people see it, like in this case, I'm staying on the Pretty Hurts topic. I think her mother saw it, but her mother, let's just say, that her mother saw a meal ticket. It's like, I see what I'm doing to my child, but I see a meal ticket.
Yeah.
So guess what's happening?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's,
but sometimes we
live
say people don't see it. Yeah, maybe it's something she couldn't do. So like you said, she was living vicariously through her daughter.
Yeah.
And she told her,
this is how it is.
Knows doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
no need of being smart. You pretty.
Yeah.
And what her mother failed to teach her is the core value that pretty's gonna hurt you one day. If you just live only to be pretty, where's the good morning gorgeous in that?
That's right.
You just wake up every morning because you pretty. You have no substance.
That's right. Yeah.
Baby, it's some souls out there that need surgery.
Yeah. Ooh.
Baby, we have to talk about it.
Yeah, we do.
Because it's a serious situation. Because a lot of people are just gorgeous. Drop dead. I give anybody props. Like, baby, you fine.
And that's it.
But when you get to talk to that person, you're like,
that's it. Yeah.
All you want is labels. All you know is the finest restaurant. And you're barely pronouncing what's on the menu. Now, let me say, it's some stuff that I probably can't pronounce. So I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying, when that's all you have.
Very shallow.
Yes.
Shallow people.
My favorite word. Low vibrational.
Low vibrational. Yeah.
But yeah, just shallow surface. It's like, come on now. That
what else is underneath there?
Gonna hurt. That good morning gorgeous is gonna backfire on you one day. Like I said, you gotta know what that actually means.
Yeah.
To say good morning gorgeous.
It does. And one thing I do want to say, good morning gorgeous really focuses on affirming. And that's what you were saying earlier. And what I do want the listeners to understand is how you actually, the purpose of affirmations. Because I've heard people say, well, I'm doing my affirmations, but they're speaking things that they're already good at, or they're doing things to all that they're, let me get my words together, things that they already have. And an affirmation is supposed to be something that you struggle with. So let's just say I didn't feel like I was beautiful. Mm-hmm. My job is to tell myself, you are beautiful. You are gorgeous. If I didn't think I was smart, you're intelligent. You're smarter than what people think you are. That's the affirmation. Not, I know I look good. I know I'm doing my affirmations. No, because you look good. The affirmation is to fill the void. That's what it's supposed to do. And it's supposed to help you get to the point to where you actually believe it. And so once you get to the point where you believe it, then you don't have to do those affirmations anymore. You don't have to, but that's how they work. Anything after that is what? A confirmation. So
say that again.
It's a confirmation. Once you have achieved the affirmation, you don't stay there. You don't stick there, because that's not any type of progress or growth. After that, it becomes a confirmation, because you won't need it as much.
Right.
You may need to be reminded every once in a while, because again, what did I say earlier? You're going to be triggered. Mm-hmm. You're going to be tested on what you've been working so hard for. So when that test does come, you will have the confirmation.
And I want to also go back. Let's go back to the beginning where we talked about India already.
Yeah.
What I want to say about India and her mother in that scenario. I think I don't have a daughter, but I think that parents with daughters, I think it starts young, that you start affirming or doing affirmations with your daughter. Mm-hmm. Because this world, like I said, when I talked about the superficialness of what India was saying, she said she learned early on because her mama, she came from some good stock. Her mama taught her the value of things and things that didn't hold value.
Right.
So if it starts at home, we as a culture, we got to start back spending time. I know it's easier said than done because a lot of parents work. And by the time you get home and you take time with your kids, like you don't get that one-on-one, you're trying to make sure your kids eat, homework is done. I get it. But we have to start somewhere on teaching core values in the home.
Yeah.
Some kind of way. We've just missed that. And I'm not going to just speak to that with daughters, but only we're saying daughters because that's what this episode is, was alluding to, that women have beauty issues. But let's talk about men, the boys. They need to.
Oh, yeah.
They need the same type of love and self-love as well, to be taught that. And to see what that looks like. So, as we're talking about culture here, I really do believe that we have to start. Like, we talk about it, but we really have to be about it. And like I said, I'm doing the best I can with this podcast to get, use some tools, some gems, what we can do. But ultimately, when you turn this episode off, it's what can you do with this episode?
Right.
I can only do so much.
Right.
Everyone in this world can only do so much. But in your home, guess what?
That's right.
You can do even more.
That's exactly right. And I just wanted to add, being a parent to a daughter, I completely agree with you on that. And one of the things that I did with my daughter when she was coming up, now I don't have multiple kids, so I can't imagine what that's like. At the same time, if you're a single parent, you are pulled in so many different directions. And if you're a single parent with little support, you're stretched pretty thin, but you have to be able to make time, and that's part of the sacrifice and the obedience of being a parent. You have to make that time for the one-on-one sessions, and the one-on-one sessions, they have to be deeper than, we went to the park and we had fun. Right. We went to the skating rink and we had fun. You want to ask your child questions, and it doesn't matter what age they are. I remember asking my daughter at 5 and 6 years old, how is Jade feeling today? That's her name. And she would, tell me about her day, and, you just want to ask questions. And some people may say, well, what questions do you ask? Honestly, you want to ask questions that are even bothering you as an adult, because we're all tired in certain areas. And you also want to check in with your child and to see, is there anything that mommy or daddy can do?
Right. And sometimes we have to put those phones down, the tablets that we give, tablets, phones, computers, any type of electronics.
Yeah, it's one-on-one. Yeah. It's, I mean, and it won't hurt to put it down, even if you check in with them for 10 minutes. That 10 minutes, they will remember that when they get older.
Right.
They will remember that even if it's like once or twice a month. I have talked to a few other people, and, you know, they do have multiple kids, and, you know, they say, well, you know, we're so used to bringing all the kids with us, but we learned, like, once they got to, like, middle school, they need some of that one-on-one time. So they'll switch it up, you know, and when doing that, they're able to, you know, communicate and create a safer space, because we don't want to do fear parenting anymore.
No,
I don't think that's, you said we're in a different era.
Yes.
So we don't want to do the fear parenting anymore, but we also want to make things realistic. And I think that's something that I did try to do with my daughter in regards to just showing her what a realistic or virtuous woman is supposed to look like.
Proverbs 31, baby.
That's it. So again, you said it starts at home, and that's exactly where the change begins. And so if we're aware, which is what we're trying to do now, bring it to people's awareness. If we're aware, then we'll know how to not be so hard on ourselves, and we will know and understand how to pour into our young men and our daughters. And, you know, it kind of takes me back to the show, what was it, Nanny 911, back in the day, where the nanny would come in and she would see what was going on with the household. And
I think I kind of remember.
Yeah, so that was a show I used to watch quite a bit, and everything that she was doing as far as like coaching and showing, you know, the families, well, this is where you all need help in. It was just taking everything back to, like you say, the core values, the one-on-one time, the space, so that there is real emotional connection and everything's not functioning. So if we could actually, you know, kind of bring that back to people's
forefront.
Yeah, instead of always, you know, knowing that there's this pressure. We have to find a space where we don't have that pressure and feel rushed to do everything. So
most definitely. And then if you don't know, like if it's just you can't make that connection with your child, or I'm just gonna talk from having teenagers. I hear a lot, oh, my child don't want to do that. All they want to do is TikTok and this. But you're the parent. So if there's no connection there, then maybe reach out to some other groups. Because these days there are different type of Facebook groups of all these different type of groups. And you can probably find some in your community if you search hard enough.
Yeah.
But find out what they're doing with their kids and how you can make that connection. You can't be the only one struggling with
this.
That.
Is true.
So I just thought I'd throw that little gem out there. But like you said, a positive space where it's like, okay, my child feels comfortable talking to me. Because that's number one.
Right.
Let's keep that, you know, your child is just not going to share with you if, like you said, that fearful, oh, it's my way or the highway.
Right,
blah, blah.
yeah.
That's
or they're going to be mad at me. Yeah.
No, and you're not trying to be their friend.
Right.
And you can be friendly.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear me listening? Land? You can be friendly.
Yeah.
But you cannot be their friend to that extent where you, like I said, I love good watching parents do the TikToks, but when it's too much and you know it's vulgar language and it's
or
all
movement,
this, or the movements, and your child is 6, but they pop, lock, and dropping it and swear. No. That goes back to the core value.
Yeah.
They have to learn to value themselves. That's not a dance for you right now.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't be a dance.
At all.
But let's just keep it 100.
Yeah, for entertainment.
At that stage, that's just not a good enough. You know, you need to be doing, I don't even know any dances. And that's the thing. Our culture doesn't probably have any dance. Now, like I said, I don't have small kids, so I'm just assuming that they're doing all this grown-up stuff because that's what's in their face.
Yeah.
So we have to get to a point where we make being a kid cool again. And I don't know.
That sounds like another topic for another
yes, but we have to
discussion
get back to
me.
Because, like I said, this is all tying back to Good Morning Gorgeous.
Yes.
How you see yourself.
Yeah.
Like, really, how do you see yourself? And how can you see yourself in a different light if you got people telling you what you should be.
However you have been poured into is how you will feel about yourself.
Yep.
Until you are actually able to see things for yourself. Period. That's it.
Yes, and I'm not going to say somebody's parenting is wrong or this form. I mean, the best way to address it, because if we simply go into it by saying, oh, that's bad parent, who's going to respond to that?
Correct.
So
yeah.
if you happen to be listening to this episode and you're like, oh my goodness, I know who she's like, and I know some parents like that.
Yeah.
They can't talk to their kids. They want to be like, I'm in charge. I'm the boss. Well, guess what? What you can do? Pull them aside. Be gentle with them and say, hey, this is how, I just want to share with you, this is what I do with my child. We do blah, 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 blah. And be like, I'm not trying to tell you, but if you try this, talk to them real light.
Yeah.
When I say light, take little baby steps. Because, we always say tone is everything on this podcast.
It is.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's how you set the tone. And I think that's a good start for the culture. Like if you see something, we should be able, we have to be able to take criticism from people.
Yeah.
As long as it's constructive. I say
and
it all the
especially
time.
if you ask.
Well, even if you don't, because sometimes that's the problem. Like, sometimes it's needed when you didn't ask. And that may be another subject for another day.
It might be.
But I want to tie that into, how can you affirm something that you just out here acting buck wild? I need to step in and say, no, sis, this ain't the way. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. I need to be able to tell you how to speak an affirmation over your life.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. And that goes back to, if your crown is tilted, let me help you.
Ooh, yes.
Put it back on straight.
And you don't even have to tell anybody.
No, you don't.
Pull me to the side and say, hey, sis, you out of pocket.
And then that's another thing. I have actually heard people say, you know what? You're a beautiful person. Is everything okay? Because it seems like you're having a challenging day. Even if you just word it like that, that kind of brings it to their attention. Like, oh, first of all, I didn't know they looked at me as beautiful. So you've caught their attention that way. And then it also has them to think, you know what? Can you tell me what it is I did? Because I didn't know that's what I was portraying. That's what was coming. That's what I was delivering today. That wasn't my intention. So again, there's different ways just to go about it. So, but just always know that you are gorgeous and it's okay. As long as you actually know exactly what it is and who you are and what you stand for. So it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Just work on yourself first, and then you will know how to pour into other people.
Yes, because it's important that we know how not only to pour into ourselves, but how to pour into other people. Like, y'all, that is one of the greatest gifts, to be able to help somebody else. But you can't help someone if you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it all starts with you and how you feel about yourself. Because guess what? If you think you ugly, tore up from the floor up, you're going to always in your mind be thinking you're not good enough. Oh, no, I don't want to take a picture. Why come you don't want a picture? No. And then you hear people say, I just don't know. I don't like this. It's going to show this. Girl, show all of that.
Yeah.
You know what? Show it.
Yeah.
Stop being so hard on yourself. Because as I said at the beginning of this episode, that leads to self-doubt.
Yep.
And then you're going to start hating yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you should be able to look no matter what stage of life you're in. Because guess what? Beauty is not going to always last. You might can enhance this and enhance that, but you're going to age.
Yeah, age is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. You're not going to escape it, baby.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Yeah.
And it's going to get you. Whether some of us may age gracefully, some of us may not. But that's not for me to judge or for you to judge. Just enjoy and embrace where you are at the stage of your life.
And know who you are within, because that's going to always outshine whatever age you are. Gray hair, wrinkles, crow's feet, age spots, whatever it is people get.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. But people will still remember, and they will see like the beautiful soul exuding before any of all of that.
Most definitely. Like, I just always think about that because we're so harsh on ourselves. So we got to stop being so harsh. I mean, I'm like I said, we've all done it. I've been there and been like, oh gosh, I got all these roses. It's sitting in my lap. Ooh, hell, it's sitting in my lap right now. Truth be told, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I have to, but like I said, I'm glad that I recognize it because that's what I've been doing. It has made me aware that, okay, you eat a little too much now and it's starting to dry. Like,
but
okay,
again,
girl.
that's reality though. And that's what we have to understand, and we've talked about it before. Understand what your reality is and embrace that and build on making that as beautiful as you can. Not what anybody else has. It's about what you have and what you've been given. So
yeah, because Mary J. Blige said at one point she wanted to be she wanted to be someone else. And let me tell y'all something about that. Sometimes y'all on social media and you say, oh, I want that lifestyle, I want that, or you want to be that person. But you never know when they shut those doors what goes on.
You don't know what, you just don't. You don't know what they had to do to get there. You don't know what they're dealing with to stay there. You have no idea.
What about those people you want to be? And when you see the true them come out, you be like, they got arrested for what? Fraud this whole time. You think they had it going on. They had fraudulent, what was it called? PPP loan. So they was out, you thought they were balling.
Yeah.
That's why I say, do things at your own pace. It's okay to admire people because I do have people that I say, ooh, if they can do this, I can do that. Like it helps me to want to achieve more. But like, okay, if they can do this, it's inspiring. But not necessarily that I want to be that person.
Right.
I'm inspired by the person. Those are two totally different things.
Right.
So I need y'all to understand that. It's okay to admire and be inspired by someone. Let's normalize that.
Yeah.
But to actually say there are people in this world like, what was the movie? Single White Female.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, well, somebody really wants to be someone else.
They want to be
you have to be happy with you. Yeah. Good morning, gorgeous.
That's right.
Is what I want to tell you all, and I want you to go in into this week, just telling yourself, good morning, gorgeous.
Good morning, gorgeous. Because after a while, you will believe it.
Yep.
You will believe it. The more you speak it, the more you'll believe it, and then you'll become it.
Because lately I just have I'm just gonna be transparent. I have a ratchet affirmation right now, and it's on my mama, on my hood. I look fly. I look good. That just get me hyped some more, you know. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. I know, y'all. I know, but whatever works for you.
That's right. Yeah.
Hype and that just does something. Like, okay, this ain't working today. I don't know what's going on with my hair. What's going on? Do I want to be bald? I don't know. I'm letting this grow. I don't know. This eyebrow pill's not working. I don't know why one is going this way, the other. But I be saying, on my mama, on my hood, I look fly. I look good. And Aquanet, before we wrap this episode up, what advice would you give the listeners regarding self-love?
Once again, I do want to reiterate the affirmations and how the affirmations actually work. And it is affirming things that you have challenges with. So make sure that your affirmations are things that you are working towards until you start believing them. And when you actually believe them, then remember it's a confirmation after that. And then also, I just want everyone to understand, like, society is going to actually present you with some things that are unrealistic, that are not the majority, but they'll have you to believe that they're the majority. It's really the minority of what's going on. So search within yourself, understand like what your reality is, and then just make sure whatever that reality is, you are continuously giving yourself grace with those affirmations and giving yourself patience to understand who you are better. Once you understand those steps, you're on your way to feeling gorgeous.
Good morning, gorgeous. Thank you again, Aquanet, for being my co-host on the I Am Counter Scales podcast.
My pleasure.
Real talk. Beauty is power. A smile is its sword. Start seeing the beauty in yourself and smile at every instance of your life. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to I Am Kiana Scales on YouTube and follow I Am Kiana Scales on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok.
Also download the Streets 99.3 app.
Ladies, are you looking for the hottest fashions and accessories? Well, look no further. The Closet Experience has you covered. The Closet Experience has been delighting women of all ages and sizes since 2009. Visit theclosetexperience.com and save 10% with code PODCAST. That's PODCAST. The Closet Experience Boutique, where fashion and budget meet. The Closet Experience Boutique, where fashion and budget meet.
Looking for homemade taste with a touch of elegance? Visit justadelight.com and let Delightful Cakes and Catering cater your next event or special occasion. Delightful Cakes and Catering, where homemade taste meets elegant simplicity.
Real talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Kiana Scales podcast.